Hi everyone, welcome back. As you know, it is September and September marks Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Month. So I'm filming a few videos throughout the month to raise awareness of spinal cord injuries. If you haven't already, be sure to check out what I wish people knew about spinal cord injuries. Also, check out my spinal cord injury story. Also, why don't you check out what it feels like to be paralysed, because that's an interesting one. But today, if you haven't seen the title, we're going to be talking about periods. So if you haven't read the title and that is not something you're interested in, or you're a bloke and it completely disgusts you, totally understand. Go and watch one of those videos that I've told you about, and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. However, if you're still sticking around, thank you. This wasn't an easy decision to make to film, but I was asked about managing periods in a wheelchair and with a spinal cord injury. And you know, it's all about helping people feel less alone, and I thought sharing is caring, so let's go for it. So with spinal cord injuries, if you have just suffered an injury, depending on the trauma and your body, your periods may stop. And then, you know, hopefully as time goes on, your periods will come back. And you know, that should be looked upon as a good thing, because your body is sort of...
I think she's trying to say trauma, getting over trauma.
Coming back to being more healthy, getting more regular, and you know, so look at it as a good thing. I do look at having periods as a good thing, and you know, our periods tell us a lot about our bodies, that they're working correctly, and if you've got any irregular bleeding or things that aren't quite regular and they aren't quite right, then it is a time to go and seek help and see a medical professional. Dealing with periods in a wheelchair is pretty similar to dealing with periods when you're not in a wheelchair. But with spinal cord injuries, you know, if maybe you have become quadriplegic and you are finding it difficult with your hands, you may find it easier to use pads. However, if you do want to use tampons, then, you know, stick with it. There's no reason why you shouldn't use them. If you're self-catheterizing, that goes in one area and the tampon goes in another area. If you are struggling with it, you may want to get someone who you trust to help you with that. But, you know, just make sure that the placement is correct. And another thing that I would say is, if you're using pads or tampons, because you may have loss of sensation, you may need to go and check more regularly than you would have before, or if you're just starting periods and you have got a spinal cord injury, just be aware that you may have to keep checking more regularly. The good thing is we are sat down, so you know, any accidents or mishaps usually can be sort of hidden. So there's, you know, every cloud. Another thing to be mindful of is infections and keeping clean and things like that. So yeah, changing more regularly and checking more regularly is the key. But you do sort of get to know your body, and you know, like when you're going to be more heavy and when you're going to be lighter, and things like that. However, let's move on to our little story time, because we all love a little story time. So, as you know, I suffered my injury when I was 9, so obviously I started my periods when I was, what, 13, I think. And everything was okay, actually. I think, for once, you know, the universe was on my side, and I didn't suffer too badly with, you know, cramps or heavy flows or anything like that. They were generally lighter. And then as I got older, I used tampons, and that was absolutely fine. Hunky-dory. Never really had a problem with the old period situation, and that was that. Then I had my lovely daughter by cesarean section, and everything changed. Dun dun dun. And now, oh my god. So they're really, really heavy for like 2 days, and then it's like not too bad. I suffer from back pain. Do you know what? I don't suffer from the period back pain, but like the week leading up to my period and kind of during my period, it feels like every single bone in my body is being squeezed or stretched. Like I just hurt everywhere, and it's just like this feeling washes over me, and it's just horrendous. So not only do I have my normal pains to deal with, but it's just sort of like heightened by hormones, I guess. And that's really horrible. And then sometimes I do get the old backaches. Then some months I will have these crippling migraines, like I see the lights, I can't sort of move my head, hurts to move my eyes from side to side, and I've just got like this thick fog of yuckiness descending upon me, and it's just horrible. But if you say to anyone, oh yeah, I've got a period migraine, it's like, because, you know, I think you get as much sympathy for period pains and stuff like that as you do for being hungover. Another thing is, in my pet peeves of my disability, I talk about how irritating it is just to pop out and get that one thing, like milk. But I didn't actually mention the other one thing, tampons. Oh, how annoying is it when you go to the bathroom and you've got like one left and you've just come on, and it's like, because just going to a convenience store is terribly inconvenient. There's no parking, it's just a nightmare. And you're probably in loads of pain and you're probably feeling really because you're just coming onto your period. So I have tampons everywhere. I have tampons in my undercarriage bag, I have tampons in my back carriage bag, I have tampons in my handbag, I have tampons in my husband's bag, I have tampons in the glove box, I have them in the centre console of the car, I have them in my medicine cabinet downstairs, I have them in my medicine cabinet upstairs, I keep them in my bedroom, I keep them in the bathroom. Wherever you go in my house, you will find a tampon because there's nothing else. We've all been caught short. If you've got any funny stories, then feel free to drop them below. But how much do you love that person when you go, excuse me, oh, do you have a spare tampon? To a complete stranger, and they're like, and then you've got that moment while they're looking,
Please, oh my god, please say you've got one, please say you've got one.
and then all of a sudden it's like, another thing that I would suggest you do is sometimes at night you may, if you're using tampons, you may want to wear a pad as well, to see you through the night. Anyway, I hope that I've given you a few tips. Even just talking about it hopefully has helped you. If you've got any tips or anything that you want to discuss down below, then please be sure to drop them, because other people might read them as well, and we can start, you know, sharing and caring, which is what it's all about in this sisterhood. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Thumbs up. I've got lots more interesting videos coming about Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Month, so make sure that you subscribe for more, turn the bell notification on, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.